I'm here in Medjugorje and I'm with, what's your name?
My name is Maria Glenn, and I live in Scotland, just outside Glasgow.
Uh-huh. And when did you hear the first time about Medjugorje and what did you think when you heard about it?
The first time I heard of Medjugorje was probably a few years after the apparitions had started. And I was very curious about the apparitions. I had read a little bit about it, and my faith wasn't too strong at that moment in time. I would go to Mass, a bit of a wooden Catholic. I would attend Mass, I would go to confession, but there was a dryness about my faith. So I continued to read about Medjugorje from time to time, and my mother has very strong faith. She would give me magazines, and I would read the magazines, and she would buy books, and some of them were about Medjugorje, and I would read them, and became more and more interested. And then my mother asked me to come along on a pilgrimage to Medjugorje with her, which I did do. And then I came a second time, and both those occasions, they were beautiful experiences, but it was like having Teflon on me. I didn't really come away with too much. It was a beautiful place, it was a great place of peace, but this time I was drawn so strongly to come to Medjugorje. Our Lady wanted me to come here. I had started during lockdown. I found that my faith become much, much stronger, and the reason for that was because I was deprived of the sacraments. I missed the sacraments so much, and I didn't realise how much I really appreciated them, and how much, the importance of them, how I should really have them more in my life. So I started to pray and fast and go back over reading the Medjugorje messages again. Read many, many messages. I began reading scripture more. I would watch the services online, so I prayed a lot more. And I asked our Blessed Mother, how can I be your extended hands? And she told me, and I managed, when things had happened in my church, I became more involved in the life of the church, and more prayerful, and more spiritual. And when I came to Medjugorje this time, it's been a totally different experience. And
What happened?
My heart is just so filled with joy. I just can't explain to you. On the first day I arrived on the Sunday, so on the Monday, we had gone to Mass. We'd gone along to this the Blue Cross, and I just knew Our Lady was calling me that day. It wasn't planned that I would go up Apparition Hill, but I just knew Our Lady was calling me there, and I had to go. So I was going up, and people were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be going. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. It's 1:15. It's far too hot. We'll go another day. We'll go early in the morning." But no, I had to go, and I just felt as though Our Lady I floated up the hill. I don't remember how I actually got there, but almost at the top, I met Father Jim Blunt, and I looked up, and I followed him, and I looked up and I saw him. I just couldn't believe my eyes, and I thought, oh, our Blessed Mother, what a beautiful gift. So he gave me his blessing, and he blessed Scotland, and then he called me back, and he gave me this beautiful gift, which is a beautiful rosary.
Beautiful.
Yes, with red hearts on it. So I carried on up the hill, and I just fell on my knees at the top of the hill at Our Lady's statue, and I just asked Our Lady I opened my heart and just asked her to pour all the graces that she wished into my heart, and she did, and I just feel as though my heart is about to burst. With just love and joy. And when I was coming down Apparition Hill, the words were ringing in my ears. If you knew how much I loved you, you'd die with joy.
That's what Our Lady said, in one of the
That's what Our
apparitions.
Lady said. And that's the words that's been ringing in my ears since I came down. And then a friend of mine, funnily enough, the following morning asked me to bring back some cards with those very words on it. It's been beautiful.
It's a
wonderful
confirmation
experience.
what you heard
Yes.
by God,
Yes.
He confirms, if you get an inspiration like this, he confirms up from outside.
Yes.
With the cards, he confirms
Yes.
it, that you are sure about it.
And it's very sad in Scotland. There's been, not in Scotland, but across Britain, there's been 10 million abortions have taken place since the Act came into being. So I was speaking to Father Jim there, and what he was saying was that he wants Jesus is telling him that the unity prayer has to be said by 1 million people
Do you
in
know the unity
Scotland.
prayer by heart?
I don't know it by heart.
It's from the
but
Flame of Love. You
Flame
check
of
it
Love,
out.
yes.
It's the unity prayer.
I have the Flame of Love book, but I don't know the prayer off by heart,
Okay.
and I don't say it regular. But I will
Can you
get
talk
cards
about it?
printed.
Yeah.
I'll find out. Yes, I'll research it. I'll get cards printed, and he wants cards printed, and for 1 million people in Scotland to start saying the unity prayer.
It's a powerful prayer.
For abortions to be an end to
And
an
it's
end
also
of
for
abortion.
yourself as well. It's
Yes.
good to be protected
Yes.
by
Yes.
Blessed Mother, by God, Father, Jesus. And you pray the Rosary?
Oh yes, yes, yes.
And why do you pray?
I pray the Rosary because it takes me through. Well, it takes me through all the mysteries, and I just love it.
You just love
Our
the
Lady's. Yeah, I love saying the Rosary. Someone said to me, or I had overheard someone saying, it's like when you say the Rosary, it's like caressing Our Lady's fingers.
Beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? Yes.
Amazing. And what would you tell people? A lot of people are scared of, the confession. What would you tell them? What is the beauty of confession? Why do you go? You go to confession,
Oh,
right?
I go to yes, I go to confession regularly. Well, I suppose it's a way of. For me, the experience is just I just feel like floating away when I've been to confession. Yes, for some people it's difficult, and for a lot of years it was difficult for me to go to confession. It was very uncomfortable. I didn't like going to confession. I would avoid it, but no, not anymore. I don't mind
And what
going
would
to
you tell?
confession.
There are a lot of people out there, they don't know God the Father. What is the beauty of God the Father?
Well, do you know, it's just like coming. It's like going home. It's just a warm. It's like being caressed by an angel. I know it's a lot greater. It's hard to describe, but it's just great. Just a feeling of beautiful love, and warmth, and just all the lovely,
That's God the
cuddly
Father.
things. God the Father. Yes,
Beautiful.
yes.
And you are Catholic. What is the beauty of the Catholic faith? How would you describe it? What is so beautiful about your faith?
The Catholic faith was a difficult one to describe, but I suppose it's just the joy and the love of God, of Jesus, the Holy Trinity, Mary, and I suppose Mary is the heart of it, of the Catholic faith. Really.
Jesus, she leads to Jesus,
Yeah,
no?
through Jesus. Yeah,
She leads to Jesus, right?
yeah, you can't get to Jesus unless you go through Our Lady. She brings us closer to Jesus. Yeah.
Beautiful. And what will you tell people what is so special, why they may come to Medjugorje one time?
I think coming to Medjugorje it's different from other pilgrimages because it gives you the time and the space to talk to God through Our Lady, and it will bring you great peace, great peace and great joy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this beautiful interview.
Very welcome.